So, in terms of energy, in terms of water, we collect rainwater from the roofs, we filter it. In terms of food, in terms of shelter and the driftwood. The local incomes of our team there have almost tripled in the last 3 years. That means their incomes have really improved a lot. We plant a lot of coral there. We have a coral conservation program. We plant mangroves. We also support turtle hatcheries. So one small island in Pulau Seribu can have a big impact if we have the right focus and if we get the right attention and if we invite the right people. So never think that a small little project can have a big impact, because it really can. And this island is small. It's a little bit bigger than the Fine Arts Theater. Maybe about 3 times the size, about a hectare. So this has been a really interesting model for me to explore. And what I've decided to do is try and create 800 more of them. So if any of you guys want to help out, I'm going to need a lot of help. The idea is to create a franchise and to replicate these solutions across Indonesia and to different places around the world. Because if you imagine that 800 different small eco-resorts around the world were sharing information, sharing solutions, sharing ideas, sharing notes on the best kind of field trips for 9th graders, for 10th graders, then it could be really, really amazing in terms of what these little places could do. Not everybody can travel to Pulau Macan, and not everybody wants to. Some people are scared of the sea, yada, yada, yada. So, what about creating a city center? What about creating something that's within Jakarta? So what we thought about, and what we decided to do in the company, is buy a small cafe that's actually very close by. It's on Fatmawati. And it's completely made of bamboo, and we have organic food there, we have a lot of vegetarian food. So what if each of these little city centers, or community centers within the city, can also showcase the solutions? Can collect rainwater, can be powered by solar, can have a compost pit, can have a little garden there, can exemplify natural building techniques, and can bring people together to discuss the challenges that we face, whether those challenges are expressed through documentaries and whether the solutions are come through documentaries or conferences like these on a smaller scale. So that's an idea that has come up. And you know, Cuba, I'm not sure if you guys know about Cuba, but Cuba produces 80% of their food within their capital city. They don't rely on farmers outside. They have rooftop gardens everywhere. They're planting organic vegetables everywhere, and they've done an amazing job of becoming self-sufficient in terms of their food within the city. So there's a lot of different examples, but if we can showcase in one small location a bunch of the solutions, then that'll go a long way towards addressing the global challenges that we face. Now, this is the latest project, which is obviously a little bit complicated, and it involves IT. And I'm going to try and wrap it up in a few minutes, but I'm going to try and give you a brief overview of something that I came up with a partner of mine, sitting at the island at sunset and thinking about how we can change the world. Not save the world, but how we can change it. So, the idea that we came up with is that there's so many different solutions around the world, and there's so many different people that are implementing solutions. But all of these people who are implementing these solutions are not necessarily connected. So there's not a real effective platform for sharing these solutions. So what we decided to do is to create a website where all of these solutions can be integrated. So if you look at the top there, the question is, how do we evolve the planet in the best and fastest way possible, addressing the global challenges? Our solution is a regionally based worldwide platform for evolution, which is real versus virtual. So it's not only a website, but it's also grounded in city centers like that cafe and hopefully like others. It's got the capacity to spread and foster global evolution rapidly. Our regional formula is, for example, within Jakarta, we want to get Evo City community centers, so other cafes that are around Jakarta that also exemplify these solutions. We want to have Evo resort villages that are within 2 hours of Jakarta, including Pulau Macan and maybe other places in Puncak. and other places nearby. We want to have evo products, sustainable products. We want to have consultants that are around that can help places like JIS and like Sinar Mas Academy and like Pelita Harapan and other schools that are represented here actually implement and install those solutions within the schools. We want to have evo media companies that are focused on sharing the information about sustainability. And we also want to have evo academies like JIS, but also academies that offer schooling in things like permaculture, in things like natural building, in a lot of vocational and practical type of education. So, I'm going to wrap this up because this is kind of complicated and I'm not sure if it's that interesting for 9th, 10th, 11th graders, 12th graders. But if you are interested, please contact me. It's going to be a fantastic website and you're going to be able to log on to it and find products, buy products online, book eco-resorts online. You're going to be able to meet other people, other kids like you perhaps, and other people who are concerned about the state of the planet and who want to do something about it. That's the main idea behind this platform. It really does come back to each one of us. And I would challenge you, again, it's the way you live. And if you want to change the world, and if you want to evolve the world, you have to think about how you're living. How many hours a day do you use your AC, for example? What kind of food do you eat? What kind of clothes do you buy? Where do you spend your money? Because your money and the way you spend it is a huge vote. Beyond you and the way you live, it's your home. So it's all great to think about all these global challenges, but unless you can address those global challenges in the way you live and the way your home is, then it doesn't really make sense. If you can make your home a sustainable home, where you can look after the environment and when you can look after the people that are maybe working in your home, that's another major step. Your neighborhood. Can you start a community garden? Can you start a recycling program? Can you address issues of poverty in your neighborhood? I know that a lot of work has been done in this area, and I'd love to hear more about what the different schools are doing to address poverty in their areas and in their neighborhoods. I know Sinar Mas had a program about that before. What about in your schools? What about if we could make each school, every school that you're attending, be a showcase for those solutions? That's a huge challenge that I think is a really interesting challenge and really, really important that I'll talk about in a little bit. And in your sphere of influence. So wherever you can affect change, see if you can do it on a practical and real level. So my challenge to you is in all of these areas to really take these global challenges that you see and implement the solutions that you come up with on a daily basis in the way you live, in your homes, in your neighborhoods, and in your schools. I'll be really impressed if I could see some of these things happen within the schools that you are a student at. And I would highly encourage you to talk with your administrators and to talk with your teachers to look at these global challenges and address them within the framework of your school. You have influence in your schools. Okay, I hope. You have a voice, so use it and see if you can get some of these things done. Looking at things like AC and energy usage is huge. If there's no recycling program in your school, start a recycling program. Use recycled paper. Imagine if you had an organic garden at your school where you, as a part of your science class, you had to tend to your garden and that you would actually eat some of those veggies for lunch. Who would eat veggies from their school garden for lunch? Probably no one. Ah, good. Who else? Anybody else? Would you eat vegetables from your school? Is anybody actually growing any of it? Are there any examples of school gardens out there within any of the schools? Just say yes if there is one in your school. Not yet. See? Imagine if there was in every school a garden and a farm where you work with local farmers nearby and you understood the whole process of what it takes to grow a vegetable. And then you would eat it at lunch. Unfortunately, you can't grow hamburgers and hot dogs. You could have cows though. That'd be interesting. Install wastewater gardens and composting toilets. Anybody know what a composting toilet is? Instead of flushing, it's just a dry toilet, okay? I know it's kind of disgusting to talk about poo, but It's really important, and the way we deal with our poo and our pee is really important. Especially in Indonesia, you see a lot of times people pooing upstream and people brushing their teeth downstream. Not so cool, right? So we have to look at sanitation. It's really, really important. So what we're doing on the island is it's called the wastewater garden. So all of the poo and the pee goes into a septic tank, and then it goes into a bed of rocks, and we have mangroves in there and other plants that take up the nutrients, and what comes out on the other end is clean water. It's amazing. It's fantastic. The composting toilet you can use, actually, I know it sounds gross, but you can use what comes out for trees, for flowers, and you can really make use of that. And pee, by the way, is an amazing fertilizer. You have to wait for about seriously, about a month. So next time you pee, if you want to be eco-conscious and if you want to address the global challenges, pee in a little something and keep it for a month, and then pour it on your plants, and then put a little bit of soil over, and then you'll think, yes, I'm a global citizen. Start a really cool shop in your school where you sell sustainable products. Everything from the snacks that you buy, to the clothes that you buy, whatever you might buy at school, have a look at where those products are coming from. Are they coming from eco-sensitive companies? Are they coming from companies that really care about their employees? Start a shop, why not? Make it a little school business, make it a little school project. Collaborate with the administration to ensure people from the local neighborhoods are being hired and well looked after. Why not? Ask them, what's your hiring policy? Have a look at it. Collect rainwater from all the roofs. Especially here in Indonesia, there's so much water that comes down from the rain. Imagine if you could collect all of that and use that to garden, use that for things like the toilet water. You'd save so much water. And water is a huge problem around the world, as you probably know. Plant indigenous trees to enhance biodiversity. Look at what kind of trees are being planted on campus. Are they attracting butterflies? Are they attracting birds? Look at that and have a program and be a part of a club or start a club where you can actually do those things and look at how to do this on campus. Ensure that all field trips support principles of ecotourism, and if possible, stay at resorts like Pulau Macan instead of commercial resorts like Pulau Putri. As you explore global challenges, ask your teachers to identify solutions that can be applied locally. It's great to talk about global challenges, but it's even more important and critically important that we talk about solutions and how to implement them on the ground within our sphere of influence. Thank you. That's the end of my speech. If you would like to intern with our company once you get up to 18 and beyond, feel free. We hope to have another 5 resorts within a year or so, eco-resort villages around Indonesia. If you'd like to organize a school trip to Pulau Macan, if you have questions or comments, please feel free to contact me. That's my email address, and that's our website. And I think we have a few minutes left for questions. So thank you very much for your attention. It's been a real honor to speak for you.